Here we go, 5 minutes brain workout. It's morning, Friday. I was recording for the day before. So it's Friday here, but most of the world still has Thursday, so that's why we have week 6, day 4, it's Thursday. And first word I'm gonna read is Axiom. So for somebody who watches this for the first time in their life, who stumbled across this video, it's a daily brain workout. I upload these videos on YouTube every day because it keeps me accountable, makes me do it every time, every day, and I know that nearly nobody watches it unless you stumbled up in this video very by some mistake. But the reason I do it is because somebody might watch it. There was a book called Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely, and he mentioned that if something is publicly announced, then the person, it's a type of external motivation that keeps the person accountable. So I keep myself accountable by posting these videos, and yeah, I recommend you do it as well. It's great practice because it increases in the intelligence. When we have, what is intelligence? Intelligence is knowing what's going on around, and we can specify this intelligence into a more specific area, like for example musical intelligence, even though I know that psychologists say there is only one general intelligence that predicts all the other intelligences. But I don't think so. There are people with a very low intelligence who have very high musical intelligence, and or painting intelligence, but they have very low general intelligence. Or they might have very good social intelligence, but they have not as good general intelligence, but they are good socially. They simply know what's going on when they come into a social situation. And we can see that in academia, a lot of social morons there, but they are very intelligent in terms of general intelligence. So you do have specific intelligences. It's clearly seen, even though general intelligence might be predictive in way of solving problems. But solving problems is just another intelligence, right? Yeah, a type of intelligence. So how does reading dictionary increases intelligence? Well, it comes down to knowing what's going on around you. So we really operate interact with the world in terms of words and language, and we have certain vocabulary in our heads, but there is whole another vocabulary around us in certain situations, and if those are not interconnected, if we don't know what other people are talking about, we significantly reduce our intelligence in that sphere. So, reading dictionary and making sentences connects our existing vocabulary in the head with the vocabulary which exists outside the head, in the collective, in the intelligence, in heads of other people, and this way we can understand better and grasp how things are working in other spheres. Easy. Now, another example. Why some people they are put into, they talk to other people, let's say about computers or science, something like that. I have no idea what's going on. They think, oh, I'm too dumb for that. Well, no, you're not too dumb for that. You just don't understand the terms. If you understood the terms, you would have a head for it. You would understand what is going on. So knowing the vocabulary is the intelligence. What allows someone to be a doctor? Because they study hard? No. It's just because they sit down, they understand specific language terms that are used in that sphere. And they understand relationships between these words. So it's like another layer on reality. There's a reality, and then there is us naming bits and pieces of that reality and understanding how they interact with each other. So let's say doctor. Doctor knows how the names, let's say, there's just an example, names of the organs, they know how they interact, and they know which drugs or medicine affects that group of words. Call it words because it's in our head, it's words, but they are trying to reflect reality. So the doctor knows that ibuprofen, or whatever the drug is called, is ingested, and it will have a certain effect on certain body parts. That's it. It's the intelligence. Knowing the words. Alright, so let's go. I do it for 5 minutes. I use Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, and I have this little timer, and it goes for 5 minutes, roughly 5 minutes, and I listen to vocabulary, listen to pronunciation, read definition, and try to make my own sentences in case the word is very, very simple, and I don't do my own sentences because it's a waste of time, and I prefer to go through more words. But perhaps a good template or example what you can do yourself. Alright, here we go. Axiom. Axiom.
Axiom.
Axiom.
Axiom.
Word origin, interesting. Honor, from axios, worth, worthy. Axiom. Axiom. Cool, worthy. A rule or principle that is generally considered to be true. I like that. Axiom. So axioms of mathematics. Axiom of Western culture is don't do to others what you don't want, or behave towards others the way you want them to behave towards you. Axiomatic.
Axiomatic.
Okay, something that is axiomatic does not need to be proved because you can easily see that it is true. Oh, self-evident. Oh, I love it. Self-evident. Self-evident. Axiomatic. Okay, so some funny sentence. It's cold. That is axiomatic. That's self-evident. Oh, we can say it's self-evident. It's pretty cold. Self-evident then when the clouds are covering the sun, it's getting a little bit cooler. Or we can say it's axiomatic that people in crowds tend to follow the crowd's decisions. Okay, axiomatic, self-evident. Axiom is rule or principles that's generally considered to be true. Axis. Axis.
Axis.
The American
Axis.
Axis. Oh, what axle. Okay, axis is from axle. The imaginary line around which a large round object such as the Earth turns. The Earth rotates on an axis between the north and south poles. A line drawn across the middle of a regular shape that divides it into two equal parts. Either of the two lines of a graph, by which the positions or points are measured, the vertical and horizontal axis. Vertical, horizontal axis. So you can look at the houses, and often appealing designs yield themselves to being able. Okay, so appealing, when you can draw axis through the middle of the house, and the house divides into two same parts, and you can draw axis on the house. When you can draw axis on the house, it yields to an appealing design. Most axis of this object divided into two equal parts. Many objects that are appealing can have axis that split it into two equal parts. Okay. Graphs have vertical and horizontal axis. Okay, there's a d-axis. Axis powers the. Okay, so I wonder how it divides into
axis.
The countries, including Germany, Italy, and Japan, who fought together during World War II against the Allies. Axis and Allies. So interesting. How did they come up? Axis of evil? Axis, they're countries. That's so interesting. Axis of evil, a phrase used by President George W. Bush in a speech in April 2002 to describe countries that he claimed supported terrorism, use of violence to obtain political demands. Ooh, that's a good definition. And wanted to obtain chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons. Axis of evil. But the axis were people who axis. It's like other side of the axis, the counterpart. What do they call them? The axis. That's so interesting. Have to find out. All right. So let's finish with axle. Word origin.
Axle.
Axle, tree from. Oh, okay. So tree is probably used for the wheels. The tree for the wheels in the middle, like a axle. I used to call it tree, but then it just developed into word for that we use for axle. From Old Norse, oxul, axle, tree plus tre. Axle, tre. Axle. Middle tree, or something like that. That's used between wheels, probably. The tree, axle. Axle, the bar connecting two wheels on a car or other vehicle. Oh, so interesting. Axle. Axiom to axle. So let's check the axis of evil. Where did they get their name from? Not axis, but the axis. What's up? Open it. Oops. So probably you can't say the axis powers by name. Okay. Formula took the name after the Tripartite Pact was signed in Germany, Italy, and Japan on 27th of September 1940 in Berlin. The pact was subsequently joined by Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, and Bulgaria. It's military alliance, but why is it called Axis? Tokyo Axis. This is ground of diplomatic efforts. What's the word origin of this axis? Origin and creation. The term axis was first applied to the Italo-German relationship by the Italian Prime Minister Benito Mussolini. Oh, okay, so it was like they were connected like two wheels, because it was between two it's Germans and Italians. When he wrote to in the preface to Robert Schuster, Germania Republica, that there is no doubt that in this moment the axis of European history passes through Berlin. Okay, so axis. And the wheels are the nations. What does it mean symbolically? At the time, he was seeking an alliance with Weimar Republic in Yugoslavia and France in the dispute over the Free State of Fiume. Terms that he was used by Hungary's Prime Minister Gyula Gombos when advancing alliance in Hungary with Germany and Italy in the early 1930s. Okay, so it was when Mussolini publicly announced the signing on the November 1st, he proclaimed the creation of the Rome-Berlin axis. Okay, it's like a tight friendship. Good as a symbolic visual language. Alright, cool. So if you made a mistake on watching this, thanks for watching.